To those complaining about MCU Spider-Man having too many crossovers, isn't it also part of the Marvel and Sony deal that Sony gets an MCU character in every Spidey solo movie? Iron Man, Nick Fury, Doctor Strange, and now Hulk and Punisher? People complaining about it should understand that the options are either Spider-Man has at least one other MCU character in the movie, or there will be no MCU Spider-Man movies. Unless I'm mistaken, this is a part of the agreement between Sony and Marvel. I'm on this sub pretty often, and I've yet to see someone complain about this. If it weren't for crossovers, we wouldn't even have a Spider-Man 616 MCU. It's weird that people complain that Jean is being introduced in a Spider-Man movie when Spider-Man was introduced in a Captain America movie. Art is subjective. Every piece of media will have people complaining. People like to complain. No reason to stress, and give them attention. I prefer the crossover movies as I always have trouble believing that the main character never interacts with any other type of hero. Crossovers in Marvel movies for me is what makes it feel like an actual comic universe where heroes can just step in anywhere at any time. Like when Valkyrie showed up in the Marvels, I loved that scene because she stepped up to take in the Skrulls at New Asgard. It was done so well to where it was a nice cameo. It made sense for her to be there, and she didn't overstay her welcome. Not complaining, but I think it would be cool if Holland got at least one movie at some point where it was just him as the only hero. Why is it wrong to want that? There's only so much content that Marvel Studios produce. Anyone that doesn't like other characters can please stop commenting their opinions. If other characters were not in these movies, it would be dull. As much as I love the Hulk, he's not getting a solo movie anytime soon. So let's go with making appearances in any and every movie possible. I think people grew up with the Sony Spider-Man, where crossovers were contractually all but impossible. So now that Marvel has reacquired the license to make Spider-Man movies in its own right, and to have characters interact because, gosh, they live on the same planet and so run into each other, what is perfectly normal seems weird to them. We already had 2 Spider-Man iterations that featured a lack of crossovers. People can go watch them instead of expecting another rehash. Though there's too much homework, crowd need to sod off and watch individual movies TBH. It's a cinematic universe about comic books. It's going to be interconnected. When they did a long run of not connected movies, they became the worst run in its history. Accept it, move past it. There's homework. If you don't like that, you're following the wrong franchise. The Amazing Spider-Man TV show from the 70s is out there for anyone to see him fight nameless bandits in pointless stories. Every time out, MCU Spidey gets to meet new major characters we've never seen him interact with, then have cool fights with or against them. Frankly, anyone not excited to see Spider-Man fight the freaking Incredible Hulk isn't a real Marvel fan. People just want to complain. If they didn't have the crossovers, then those same people would complain about why there aren't any NYC heroes showing up in the movies. Not only is there a plethora of Spider-Man and his friends, but almost every amazing and spectacular feature a rogue's gallery of baddies and allies. He is dead serious when he calls himself friendly. He is the best of them, even Steve agrees. I still think she's playing Teresa Parker though, so we'll see what happens. I'll be happy if we get that scene from Ultimate Spider-Man where he meets Jean Grey/Marvel Girl for the first time. I'm interested in who is going to be in the 5th movie, considering that there's a good chance that it's going to have Venom in it, because the Russos have said that the original Secret Wars comic is one of their favorites, and that's the story that introduced the black suit. Plus, I highly doubt Sony would want to wait for the 6th movie to do Venom, because money. I could be misremembering, but didn't Spidey break into Xavier's school in the animated series when he was beginning to experience the mutation? Sounds fitting to introduce a major mutant character in a story about Spidey mutating Immo. Y'all do know in the comics. People online are stupid and obliviously don't know. Otherwise, they'd keep their traps shut and not complain. God forbid they try and connect these films to the cinematic universe. One of Spidey's most prominent comics in his long history was literally called Spider-Man Team Up. The problem is that the other heroes are there to essentially parent him and fix his mistakes. He doesn't get to stand on his own. Spider-Man is written better in crossovers and other characters' comics than his own.